Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms, we got a new update on the way. A patch note is here. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. First and foremost, the Kin Ascendancy event series is on its way. 7-day consecutive login rewards, a bunch of events going on. I don't know, are we going to get a new commander soon? A new commander outside the regular cycle of commanders? The reason I say that is that archers need help. They need help, in my opinion, urgently. I mean that lovingly. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we got like a Ragnar-like commander soon. My 2 cents. And we're about to get an archer Zenith of Power. So like, I don't know, it all makes sense to me, but they haven't actually revealed a new commander yet. So we'll see. The Smithy special's coming back. Good way to get a bunch of patterns. Great event if you're a spender especially. The melon market is coming back, which honestly is pretty fun. Great interaction with other players, even though you're mostly just yoinking their melons and then selling them. Cool to see all this stuff coming back, all right? Now, Season of Conquest optimizations. They're adding a team-up phase to Heroic Anthem, Warriors Unbound, and Tides of War. That's interesting. That's basically the devs saying, we don't trust players anymore to take good KvKs. Right? Isn't that what this is? When there's a team-up phase, it's basically saying, we don't trust you to not just rig it as a 3v1. I think that's what they're saying. Added match satisfaction rating and a voting phase to Season of Conquest matchmaking. I love this. I love this. During the voting phase, kingdoms can choose to accept or reject the match they've been assigned. If all kingdoms reject the match will be canceled and kingdoms will be moved to the next round of story registration. Wow. Wow. I honestly think the KvK I'm in right now, everyone would have rejected. And I think 2377 might not have rejected it if a good 2v2 could be found. But like, since everybody was like, no, we don't want to do that, I think everybody would have rejected it this round. I think everyone would actually have agreed to reject this KvK that I'm in right now. This is a really good addition. This is actually secretly the best addition they've made to the game in so long. I'm actually not even sure, because here's the thing. If you feel like your KvK matchmaking is bad, like, how does that impact your enjoyment of the game, right? So this is an amazing, amazing change. I'm very happy with this change. This is very good. This is so good. It's like, once you see a really good change to something, it's like, how did we wait this long to do this? How did it take this long to come up with this? This is outstanding. It's like, it's what I'm trying to say is like a great change when you see it. It's like, oh, isn't it obvious? But it's like, you know, some of these things are not as intuitive design. Whatever. I love this. I guess what I'm trying to say is I really love this. Adjusted the pace of Season of Conquest. Even the Crusade will start after entering the Lost Kingdom. Wait. Whoa. This is a major change. Adjusted the pace of Season of Conquest. Eve of the Crusade starts after entering the Lost Kingdom. Dude, wow. This is so smart. So I said literally a long time ago that you can't make the time between KvKs as fun as being in KvK. My opinion. Okay. It's just my opinion. So just reduce the time between KvKs. This is such an, again, like in hindsight, it's so obvious, but if you put Eve of the Crusade inside of the KvK, you just took a week away from the time between KvKs. The only thing I would say here is that, like, we need a very dramatic speed up and resource return to actually play KvKs repeatedly in this way. Everybody's going to get trained so fast. But okay. Adjusted this, and by the way, so Marauders and Marauder encampments spawn in Lost Kingdom. For this to make sense, they also need to give honor, and they also need to, in my opinion, give rewards better than just hitting the barbs in KvK, and better than just hitting the forts in KvK. If the Marauders and Marauder encampments don't do this. I mean, this is so obvious. Like anyone who plays the game knows this, right? But like you play the game, the KvK at the start to get crystals, you have to be getting crystals. Like that's so obvious. Like everybody, they must give crystals, right? They would have to. Because the whole point of barbing at the start of KvK is to get crystals, and crystals are life. So, adjusted the second stage of Past Glory from Annihilation to full speed ahead. During this phase, you can donate Speedups to earn rewards and increase your rebuilding process. So if I can donate building speeds, I'm on board. If I can donate research speeds, I'm on board. This could make a lot of sense. This actually could be an outstanding and much needed way. If this is elegantly designed, which I would assume that actually this is, this would be outstanding. This could be very outstanding. Like, think about it. Like, if I can turn speed ups I don't need into something I do, specifically research and building speeds, I'm very happy with this change. Especially because there's so many events that still give building and research speeds that I don't need. So, yeah, I think this could be outstanding. We'll have to see how it actually goes, okay? This only takes place in SOC stories, taking effect after the update. Okay, wow. I actually think this is such a major set of changes, and it is phenomenal. My experience of the game is just dramatically influenced by the quality of the matchmaking in a way that I can't possibly overstate. And so for every kingdom to be able to say like, hey, we just don't think this is a good idea, we can't find any way to do this, is a great way to hand the power back to the players. The only weirdness is if one kingdom is like, nope, we're gonna do it. But I still think this is fine. I think you could potentially make this a majority of kingdoms, but you could end up in situations where like kingdoms just get really like dodged. Whatever. Other improvements. Added more detail to the description of BQ's expertise. Okay. Before, it's after Sev wounding 400,000 units, which almost never happens. This commander's troop gains a 5% bonus to normal. After Sev wounding 400,000 units, all barbarian units defeated counted Sev wounded as well. This commander's troop gains a 5% bonus to normal damage. I don't know. This feels like a weird thing to put attention to, but yeah, I guess you can hit some barbs before you PvP with your BQ to get some normal damage. He's better at barbing. I don't know. Adjusted a few commander descriptions to more accurately reflect their actual effects. Oh, they're just text changes, but do not have any effect on the skills themselves. That's great. And I will say that, you know, unless you're have a PhD in reportology, you may just assume that what the thing said is what it does. And so like often, yeah, I would say in 99.9% of cases, that's like what players would do. So it's just going to be interesting to see what has changed. I would actually be very curious in all of the exact changes. We can try to find those. And in my Discord server, discord.gg/Chisgule, let's have a little, you know, find and seek where people can post. I'll have a channel for it, okay? People can find the skill differences. Adjusted Lost Kingdom Fortress rules. This is big. This is going to greatly diminish the Fort Wall meta. I'm benefiting from that right now in this 3v1 KvK that I'm in, where I think everybody would have just rejected the KvK and we would have gone back to matchmaking. But when building a new alliance fortress, its territory cannot overlap with the territory of another fortress, including your own. Adjusted the durability of fortresses from 50 down to 40,000, and the max durability with tech upgrades from 155 to 124. Again, this won't impact anything currently happening. It'll be new KvKs after the update. Optimize the visuals of Governor's troops on the map. I actually think that could be very cool. I'm curious for what that will be. There's a lot. There's so much on the screen all at once. I'm all for optimizing visuals. Whatever that means, let's do it. Added a new bundle, the Armory Alchemy, which contains transmutation stones and crystals. Oh my God. Well. Wow. So transmutation stones are back on the menu as being absolutely critical because you're going to be able to re-roll and 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 re-roll your armaments, which may be what it takes if you're a rally garrison to get the stats you want and need. Wow, that's actually huge. That is major. That is a big deal. And what this is going to do is it's going to make the top end players definitely have an advantage that's pretty for rally garrison meaningful. I think for open field, like, bro, it's what you have is probably good enough, you know. But for rally garrison, this is going to be big. Remove the erroneous limited tag and countdown from daily special offers. Okay. Adjusted the calculation rules for how an individual governor's power affects their kingdom power. 100% of your power up to 150 million is factored into your kingdom power. 80% of your power from 150 to 300 million will be factored into your kingdom power. 50% of your power from 300 million to 500 million will be factored into your kingdom power. Power above 500 million will not factor into your kingdom's power. So basically what they're saying is that Wild Lion and Mr. Hope need to get themselves down to, like, I don't know what, I guess they need to lose at least 400 million power per KvK. I mean, that's not really a problem for them, right? But yeah, like, if players over a certain power aren't losing that power, then that power is counting to matchmaking, but they're not losing it. So, like, big boys need to lose a lot of power every KvK. So is what this means. Okay, added a new commander story for Sarka. We'd love to hear what you think. Okay, I mean, I have, at this point, nearly zero interest in the stories. Overall, this is actually a way more interesting update than I expected. I think that it impacts the state of the game in a far bigger way than people will give it credit. And I think that it actually is phenomenal. Like, truly, this is a phenomenal change. And the details of some of these other things will reveal, I think, how player-friendly they ultimately are in their implementation. But things like being able to trade speed-ups, if I can get rid of building and research, and basically exchange something I will never use into something I would value, even if it's from a random loot box, is a W. So I'll take it, man. Very interesting. This is a very, very interesting update. You enjoyed the vid? Throw a like on here, subscribe. There's so much to talk about, and we'll just have to cover it in other videos, all right? Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everyone.